Not much compares to a full day at the motocross races. Since it is a fast-paced, exhilarating and stimulating sport, lots of fans have been entertained for years by watching motocross. But what is motocross racing? Perhaps you are thinking of picking up the sport yourself, or maybe you just want to study it. Either way, you can continue watching for a concise introduction to it. What is motocross racing? Basically, motocross is derived from two unique words: motorcycle and cross-country. This is a fitting name for the sport, as it is pretty much just dirt bike racing. Beginning in the early to mid-1900s, officially 1924, motocross started to gain traction with the masses as hosted time trials that eventually turned into off-road events called scrambles. Since then, dirt bikes and the sport have developed quite rapidly. From small biking time trials and scrambles in the UK, motocross has since grown into an international sensation featuring rugged terrain, many jumps, and undoubtedly some of the fastest dirt bikes that exist. One thing that is not common knowledge about motocross is that it's actually a pretty physical sport. Turns out, it takes a high level of physical fitness and skill to ride a bike over jumps and hairpin curves at high speeds. What is the difference between motocross racing and regular dirt biking? Simply put, motocross entails racing. Typically, the objective of a motocross race is to complete a closed course in the least amount of time possible, whereas the goal of a regular dirt bike ride is usually just to have fun and cruise around. In fact, racing can actually be dangerous, especially in a non-closed area, so it is not always incorporated into normal dirt biking. To summarize, motocross is riding with the intent to win and regular dirt biking is riding with the intent of fun. Advice for motocross riding. In the case that you've settled on motocross racing as a new sport to try, below are several useful things to understand before you get on the bike. The terrain in motocross is purposely uneven in many places. Whoops, which are a sequence of small bumps, are one of the many obstacles you will come across. To successfully get through the whoops, aim for the center of each bump and ride along the tops of them. You will likely lose control over the back end of your bike if you dip too much. If you ride over the tips of the bumps, you can keep the bike in equilibrium and prevent the rear wheel from buckling needlessly. As with most things, it is a good idea to start small and work your way up. By starting on the smaller jumps, you can gain confidence proceeding the real race. Although motocross has some small bumps, there are a wide variety of jumps including some rather large ones. Successfully landing a big jump is harder than it looks, as it requires a respectable amount of strength and skill. Wiping out mid-race is not ideal, so be sure that you are comfortable with the course before racing it. I'm sure you have all heard the term, practice makes perfect. Well, practice is a good way to steer clear of errors while riding and jumping. Prior to the start of a race, it is vital to execute 1 or 2 practice runs on your dirt bike so you know the route of the track. Staying safe. As with everything else in the ORV world, adequate safety gear is a must in any motocross race. The recommended attire for all riders includes a full face helmet, riding jacket, riding pants, boots, goggles, gloves, and of course knee and elbow braces. Every one of those items should be worn on all dirt biking excursions, regardless of if it's for motocross or not. Perhaps this isn't the case with everything, but with motocross, it's better to stay close to your comfort zone and slowly branch out. Give yourself a bit of time to adjust to the sport. Odds are, an injury would put a big halt on your dirt biking trips. Remember, the right attitude is just as important as the right gear. Try not to ride way faster than your experience level qualifies you to, and don't attempt to conquer obstacles that will likely end badly for you. Get involved. In comparison to a lot of sports, motocross is quite new, but it is gaining in popularity due to the excitement it brings riders and viewers. If you're considering joining the motocross scene, what are you waiting for? To start out, buy yourself an affordable beater bike, some protective equipment, and start mastering the art of dirt biking. After you nail the basics, you can think about riding in courses and racing.